You are here to turn the FBI into a personal Gestapo. You are a clear and present danger to democracy itself. Those words from Jill Biden just destroyed her own career. She thought comparing the FBI director to the Gestapo on live television would make her an education reform hero. His response: he calmly opened an FBI case file with her name on it. What happened next was the most brutal, systematic destruction in congressional history. The House Judiciary Committee hearing room in Washington, D.C. buzzed with the kind of electric tension that only comes from high-stakes political drama. Rows of polished wooden desks stretched across the chamber filled with lawmakers from both sides of the aisle, their faces a mix of curiosity and calculation. Reporters crammed into the back laptops, open fingers hovering over keyboards ready to capture every whisper and gesture. Cameras from major networks beamed the scene live to millions across the country, turning what was billed as a routine oversight session into a potential spectacle. At the witness table sat Kash Patel, the newly appointed director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Tall and composed with a sharp suit that spoke of quiet authority, Patel embodied the steady hand of federal law enforcement. As the 9th director in the FBI's storied history, he had already earned a reputation for his unwavering commitment to impartial justice, drawing on years of service in national security roles to lead the agency with precision and integrity. Flanked by a pair of FBI legal advisors and a stack of sealed folders bearing the Bureau's official stamps, Patel adjusted his notes calmly, his expression betraying no hint of the storm about to break. The hearing, titled FBI Leadership Priorities and Reform Under New Direction, was meant to probe the agency's future under Patel's guidance. Republicans on the committee saw it as a chance to highlight his vision for restoring public trust in law enforcement. Democrats, however, had other plans. They had pushed for the session, hoping to grill the director on perceived shifts in agency priorities, framing it as a defense of democratic institutions. Whispers in the hallways suggested it would be a chance for pointed questions on civil liberties and oversight. But no one anticipated the fireworks from Jill Biden. Seated prominently among the invited witnesses and advocates, the former First Lady had been invited to speak on the intersections of education policy and federal enforcement. Known for her lifelong advocacy in education, from community college initiatives to children's literacy programs, she carried an aura of moral authority that had long shielded her from scrutiny. Her team had prepped meticulously, scripting a moment that would resonate on social media and cable news alike. Jill Biden, with her poised demeanor and sharp intellect, was ready to seize the spotlight. Committee Chairman Jim Jordan rapped his gavel, calling the room to order. The air hummed with the low murmur of side conversations as he launched into his opening remarks, praising Patel's early efforts to streamline investigations and bolster community outreach. Jordan was midway through when a hand shot up from the witness section with deliberate urgency. Jill Biden stood, her navy blue suit impeccable, a single strand of pearls catching the light from the overhead fixtures. She held a folder of her own edges, crisp and annotated. "Mr. Chairman," she interjected, her voice clear and commanding, carrying the practiced poise of someone who had addressed crowds from the White House Rose Garden to university commencement stages. "I must raise a point of personal privilege before we proceed any further. This cannot wait." Jordan paused. Eyebrow arched in mild surprise, but nodded. "The floor is yours, Dr. Biden." Jill Biden did not sit. She stepped forward slightly, her gaze locking onto Patel like a prosecutor eyeing a suspect. The room fell into a hush, every eye drawn to her. "Mr. Chairman, esteemed members of the committee, and Director Patel," she began, her tone laced with the righteous indignation that had defined her public persona. "We gather today not merely for routine oversight, but to confront a profound crisis in our nation's soul. The man sitting before us," she gestured sharply toward Patel, represents a grave peril to the very foundations of American democracy. A ripple of murmurs spread through the chamber. Reporters leaned in, sensing the pivot from policy talk to personal assault. Jill Biden pressed on, her voice rising with controlled fervor. "Director Patel, you have no place at the helm of the FBI. Your tenure signals the utter politicization of our federal law enforcement apparatus. You are not here to uphold justice for all Americans. You are here to weaponize the Bureau against perceived enemies, to silence dissent, and to erode the checks and balances that protect our freedoms." She paused for effect, letting the words hang. "You are turning the FBI into a personal Gestapo, a tool of intimidation rather than investigation. How can we trust an agency led by someone who prioritizes agendas over accountability?"